Hello. Well, all of you who don't like to see adverts on your YouTube videos, please accept this little present from me. There are no adverts on this video, and that's because it's just not worth me even trying. And you'll see why in a minute. I am returning to the subject of the Batley Grammar School, which is headed by a crocodile feeder called Gary Kibble, who, as soon as he became aware of the displeasure of the Muslim community, and I'm not sure how much of it was the actual community, you understand, but a bunch of people from all over the place, as far as I can work out. As soon as he became aware of their displeasure with a class being given that had been given by one of his teachers, he immediately apologised and said he wouldn't be such a naughty boy again. He also suspended the teacher, who got death threats. And he got death threats because his name had been published generally. So he was getting death threats from everywhere. We'll get to that in a minute. Mr. Kibble apologised. And, you know, Mr. Kibble is a man of action. And apologising wasn't enough. He immediately went into action and suspended two more. It sort of reminded me of that rhyme about Lizzie Borden. What was it? Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. And when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Yep. Mr. Kibble took a suspension order, and then when he saw what he'd done, he gave another one and another one. That was terrible rhyme. It needs work. Anyway, this is the article, and it's by The Independent there. And it says, the school at the centre of a row over pupils being shown a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad has suspended two other teachers. There's going to be none left quite soon. One teacher suspended by Batley Grammar School in West Yorkshire has had to go into hiding with his partner and 4 children after receiving death threats. Now, let's just get on to why he received death threats. It's because of this. His union, his teachers' union, gave a donation to a charity called The Purpose of Life. It's a Muslim charity. That's rather amusing, isn't it? The Batley Grammar School teacher at the centre of a religious storm had his name leaked by a charity that was financially backed by the very same union defending him. Well, let's get this straight. I don't see any defence. The union he belongs to has not spoken out in his defence, and the way I know this is because nobody has spoken out in his defence. Mary Boostad is the head of the largest union, which is the National Education Union. That's the NEU, and she hasn't said anything. According to Spiked Online, because I've been looking for messages of support from unions, according to Spiked Online, there's been no statement of any kind from either of the other unions. Because they were talking about 3 unions. The NASUWT and ATL, whatever that stands for. And the only word from the NEU is that the school is investigating matters using internal formal processes, and until this has been concluded, it would not be appropriate to make any further comments. So I don't know whether it's one of their teachers, but it's certainly a teacher that belongs to one of these unions, and his life has been threatened. The lives of his children and his partner have been threatened, and it's not appropriate to make any further comment. Jeff Barton, General Secretary of the Association of School and College Leaders, actually issued a statement welcoming the school's apology and said that the school should now be allowed to follow this process. Nothing about the poor beleaguered teacher, and he is beleaguered. One of the protesters, who was, I believe, a woman, that's in the newspaper. I can't find the quote. I noted down the quote, but I can't find where it is anymore. But apparently this protester said, if one teacher can do it, another teacher can do it 5 years down the line. And we do not want this to be the case. Otherwise, we are not responsible for the actions of some individuals. Now, I'm not suggesting that this woman actually made a threat, but I am suggesting she is saying nothing but the truth. That there will be some Muslim nutcase who will take action on this sooner or later, given half a chance, or would if this is not dealt with properly by the relevant authorities, and the relevant authorities are the government, the police, and the teachers' unions. In fact, everybody. As for the government, the Labour MP for Batley, Tracy Brabin, who is running for mayor in West Yorkshire, started off the day after this whole thing broke, after this story broke. She started off by saying that the upset and offence caused by the cartoon was understandable, but also predictable. So she was really saying the teacher has nobody but himself to blame. And this caused a fuss. I have to say, it did cause a bit of an intake of breath. And the next day she followed up with, no teacher should be facing intimidation or threats, and that those who seek to fan the flames of this incident will only provoke hate and division. Well, you see, the problem is that the people who are fanning the flames want to provoke hate and division, because they're a bunch of religious fanatics who do not want the Muslim community in Britain to assimilate in any way. The more they make people hate and fear them, the less their members are going to turn to them for fellow feeling, comfort, reassurance, and all the rest of it. If people start looking askance at Muslims in the street, if people start trying not to have Muslims in their schools because they're worried about this sort of thing happening, then these people will be able to create a separatist area of their own little fiefdoms. This is exactly what they want. So Tracy Brabin, she's supposed to be the person representing this area, and she knows nothing about them. Well, my suspicion is she knows plenty, but she's not going to admit it. So that's the situation so far. Mr. Kibble has suspended 2 more teachers. The teacher himself is in hiding, and how was it? Just a minute, I'm going to call that up again. So according to the Telegraph, the teacher's name was published by Purpose of Life, a charity that was given a £3,000 donation by the Kirklees branch of the National Education Union, the same branch which is representing the teacher in the investigation into his actions. The Telegraph reports Purpose of Life Chief Executive Mohammed Sajjad Hussain accused the teacher of terrorism and insulting Islam, while also demanding I don't know what the they is unless he's talking about the other 2 teachers, are permanently removed from their role at the school. And then they posted the name of the teacher. The teacher's name has since been removed from the online post, but a spokesperson for the union said they are extremely disappointed with the actions of Purpose of Life. It says the NEU is fully supporting its members at Batley School, and has been since the start. We have been actively pursuing news organisations and websites that have published names and asked them to withdraw them. Well, yeah, that's great. That's just great, isn't it? You let these people do this, you let the headmaster suspend the teachers. Do you think those teachers are ever going to get back into their jobs? No. This teacher is in his 20s. What's he going to do now? His life has been turned completely upside down. He won't be able to go back there. He'll probably have to change his name. His children will have to be taken out of school. All sorts of terrible things. And all these unions have to do is get together, condemn the whole thing, and insist that all religious studies teachers show this cartoon. All of them. That would stop it. But not this sort of mealy-mouthed, disgraceful, cowardly, repellently slimy, half-hearted response. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.